Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Craig, also known as the Deployment Guy, here to guide you through the world of Microsoft Intune. Today's video is a quick and very basic demonstration on how to set up a compliance policy and pair it with conditional access. In its most basic form, a compliance policy is nothing more than a snitch whose sole job is to let admin know there is an issue with a device. It's then conditional access that does the legwork and takes action when a device has been identified as non-compliant. Okay, so in the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, the first thing we're going to do is create a compliance policy. So select Devices, select Windows, and Compliance Policies. Select Create Policy. Platform's going to be Windows 10 and later. Select Create. Give it a meaningful name. We'll call it Windows Compliance Policy. Select Next. Now there's many settings in here we can use. If you've got a custom JSON, this is where you can put it. Device health, we can require BitLocker, secure boot. On the device properties, we can set minimum and maximum versions of the OS. Under system security, there's many settings in here. The ones that we're going to probably use is, if we scroll down, we can see firewall, we'll set that to required, and we'll use antivirus. Again, set that to required, and select next. Now we'll leave this as a default 0, which basically means it will mark it as non-compliant immediately. We're going to add the groups, and we're going to select 2 groups of devices. So we will use devices staff and devices student. Select that, select next, and then create. As you can see, that Windows compliance policy has now been created. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is force this device to be non-compliant. So for this, we're going to launch the firewall settings. Once we're in here, we'll select the properties, right click and then properties, and we're basically going to turn off all the firewalls for domain, private and public. So apply that, then OK. As you can see, the firewall's now off. So if we go into the settings of this machine and we have a look at the name, as you can see, the serial number starts with 6377. If we go in the Intune portal and look for that device, as you can see, 6377 there at the bottom, it's currently shown as compliant. So now we've got a compliance policy in place. If we then go to the device and force a sync, back into accounts, access work and school, drop this down, go to info, and then select sync. Okay, so once that device is synced, in the Intune portal, we'll go to Devices, Windows, and then the device is 6377. As you can see, it's now non-compliant. Click into that. On the device compliance, we can see that the policy we created, Windows compliance policy, not compliant. Click into that. And as you can see, the firewall's been flagged, but the antivirus hasn't. Obviously, that's because I turned the firewalls off, but didn't touch the antivirus. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is set up the conditional access policy. So in Intune, select Devices, Conditional Access, select Policies, and then we'll select New Policy. Give it a name, so we'll call it Compliant Device Conditional Access Policy. Next, we're going to assign it to a group of users. You could do all users, but then you risk locking yourself out. You could select all users and then basically exclude yourselves or some break glass account. In this instance, we're going to select users or groups. So we'll select users and groups, and then we're going to specify, let's have a look down here, we'll do the users, staff, and user students. Select that. Target resources, You could do all cloud apps if you wanted to, but in this instance we'll be a bit more granular, and we will just select, let's just have a look in here. We'll do Office 365. So select that. Under conditions, you can basically give access or block access based on user risk, sign-in risk. You can do it via device platforms, so only Windows, or you can block iOS. Locations, if you've got trusted locations set up, you can base it on these. In this instance, we're basically going to do it as a compliant device, so under grant, we're going to select required device being marked as compliant. Select that. And then we need to turn it on. So we'll turn that on there. And next, we're going to select create. And as you can see, that policy has now been created. Okay, so on the device that's been marked as non-compliant, we're going to sign in with a member of one of those groups. So j.trafford, enter the password, hit enter, give that a few moments. Okay, so next we're going to launch the web browser, so open Edge. And then we'll try going to Office 365. Office 365 login, and then click sign in. Now as you can see, the conditional access policy is kicked in. It's actually preventing us from logging in on this device. Now obviously that's because this device has been marked as non-compliant. The account itself is not blocked. If you were to go to another device that was compliant, it would let you log into 365. So as mentioned already, this is a very, very basic demo of how flexible but powerful compliance policies and conditional access can be. This demo was far from a real world setup, and I do strongly encourage you to play around with both of these to come up with what works best in your environment. Once again, this has been The Deployment Guy. Please do hit that like and subscribe button. Your support really does help me to grow the channel and continue making videos just like this. Until next time, thank you very much.